Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we have our second figure from the Inuyasha series, and it is Kagome. So last time we did, well, not the last video, but the last Inuyasha video, we did the main character. So we unboxed Inuyasha with the Tetsaiga sword, and we'll do a comparison of the two figures, one right next to the other at the end. And then for our next video, we will also have Sesshomaru, and then we've got a Miroku and Sango that I'll show at the end. So this packaging, just like the other one, we've got the kind of logo up at the top with Inuyasha running up there. And the last package was red to go more with his colors, and this one is green to go with more of Kagome's. We've got a whole picture of her back here. Down here we've got the one Kagome with bow and arrow. Of course the figure, the bow and arrow. This one looks like it sold for $13.99 at the comics and stuff store, so really good deal whoever bought that. And then in the back we have another picture of Kagome, the series 1, Inuyasha across the top, and then several poses for the figure. We're going to try to get this pose because this is the one I've always seen of the figure. I know it can be a little bit difficult with the bow and getting the arrow to sit there, but we'll see what we can do. And then down here we've got Inuyasha that we opened last time, and then series 2, Sesshomaru and Kikyo, the figures that are coming up. Not in the future since it's already happened, but if you bought it back at the time it came out, this would be your future series. So let's go ahead and get this opened up, and we'll be very careful to keep the package in as good of condition as possible in case we want to store the figure back in the package. And so far it's gone really well, easy lift. We'll run that up the side. So a little bit of a tear here, but nothing major. We'll just pull that down. And then let's get the figure out. So we'll set this off to the side. And then we have our figure here. So we have our little piece of paper, and just like the last one, this one's actually glued on there. So it's very nice quality. It's not just a cheap paper, a little bit thicker paper, higher quality material, so you can see that. And then you can see the figure, the facial expression. They did a great job with it. That's kind of the story with all these Inuyasha figures, the amount of detail. So last time it was pretty loud getting the figure out. Hopefully this one won't be as loud, but give me just 1 second. Much easier to get this one out than the last one. So let's set that off to the side, and let's just take a look at this figure up close. So you can see the detail in her eyes, her mouth. Did a great job with the color here. The green on the skirt, the red on the scarf, the white lines in detail, and even this white part of the robe here, or not the robe, but the outfit. It's got a nice kind of shine to it. Hopefully you can see that. And even the detailing on the shoes down here. Can you see those lines going across? And then in the back you can see her hair. And again, the same kind of detailing as the lines. And then her arms, looks like they move up. And then they also turn at the elbow, I believe. So her head swivels a little bit. And then it should turn here or bend here. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so it's gonna turn. And so we're gonna see how we can get this to hold the bow and arrow in place like we had on the package. So let's just set her down for 1 second. And this is kind of what we want to go for. So I think we've got the hand in a similar enough position. We just want to get this other arm to bend to hold the bow. So give me just 1 second. These can be a little bit hard to turn because they have been in the packaging for so long, but there we go. Just to make sure we don't break anything. So we'll put the bow in this hand, and then hopefully the arrow will just sit nicely in this one. And let's go ahead and get those out as well. They got them over here in the package, and they're not taped over, which is nice. So there's the arrow. See some good detailing on that. Really good job with all the paint and details on these figures. It's my favorite thing about them. And then there's the bow. And you can see here with the bow, it's got the detail there on the wrap that kind of goes around the front. And then there's the string, so if you actually pull that, it does. You could probably shoot this off if you wanted to. We're not going to, but I want to be careful not to break any part of it, but if you wanted to shoot it off, you could. So let's go ahead and get this set up in her hand. So let's see how we can do this. I'm trying to do the whole setup in front of the camera. Hopefully I won't have to pull it away. Let's see. I remember when these first came out, reading about the Kikyo figure, and the guy who wrote the review said it was a nightmare. He had to unstring the bow and string it back. Just looking at it, I don't even know how we would manage that. So really glad that we're able to just slide this right into her hand. So we've got the bow here. And then let's see, you want to just try to set this up just like they had on the package. So let's just put that down here. Let's not lose our arrow. Let's put that package down in the background. So she's kind of got the bow like that. And then we want to get the arrow into the other hand, which I think will be the very difficult part. Let's see, we want to kind of... So this is really what we're going for, and I'm surprised it was that easy. We'll see if it holds when I set her down. But we have the arrow kind of sitting in her right hand, and then it's just sitting on the fingertips of the left hand where it's holding the bow. So you're really kind of getting that. I mean, you can see for yourself. Just Kagome with the bow and arrow. Very similar to what we've got back here in the background. So I'm going to try to set her down, and hopefully, well, never mind, there goes the arrow. So give me 1 second. I'm going to set her down and position this arrow, and then we will get Inuyasha in there next to her so that we can do a comparison of the two. And appreciate your patience with this. Just want to see if we can get it to stay in place. Might take a few seconds, but not really sure how they did it there on the box, but okay, there we go. Just gonna try not to touch that figure at all. And let's get Inuyasha right there next to her. And then we're gonna move our package out of the way. Let's get this camera angle down so everyone can see the figures up close. And just 1 second. There we go. So we can focus in. Inuyasha and Kagome right next to him. So you guys can see she's holding the bow and arrow, and then he's got the Tetsaiga drawn ready to fight. And I'm just being careful not to move her around too much just because of that arrow. I'm pretty sure the moment I touch the figure, it's gonna fall out. But if I can find a better way to get her to hold this, when I do some of the other figures, I'll definitely set them all up one next to the other, and then we can do a full comparison. So in terms of height, they're about the same. Hopefully you can tell from this angle. Inuyasha is leaning forward a little bit though, because he's kind of drawing his sword and ready to fight. So while he is taller than her in the show, it wouldn't really make sense to make the figure of her that much smaller. So not a huge deal. I think they look great next to each other. And as we do more and more of these and get them set up and it's easier to position everything like your arrow, I'll set the figures up differently so we can do a better angle. But at least here we kind of see what they look like standing up. So let me go ahead and get this camera up, and then let's just do a quick little show of the other figures that we'll have coming up from Inuyasha as well. So we got that in place, and then we'll do one quick look at him. So there he is, Tetsaiga in the sheath, and then he's got the transformed Tetsaiga drawn. Unbelievable figure. Highly recommend this for any fan of the show. And then we have the Kagome figure, and there goes that arrow. We'll figure out the arrow. Not right now during this video, but we will figure it out. So she's got the bow and the arrow. Again, great detail there in the face. Great colors. The green really pops. And then we'll set her down. And then for our next video, we do have the convention exclusive Sesshomaru. I'll go into a lot more detail on the whole story behind this in the next video, but just kind of a preview. Cannot wait to get this figure out. It's my favorite character. And then after him, we will have Miroku. And this piece here shifted a little bit, but we've got Miroku, and this figure does a lot of different things that we'll also go into detail about. And then finally we have Sango. This was probably the toughest one to find. I'm looking for an Iraku. I'm trying to find a Kaga or Kikyo, get something for a decent price. If anybody finds one somewhere, please just shoot me the link. I'll do my best to get it. But we have, again, at least 3 more Inuyasha figures coming. We've got more coming from Spider-Man the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Movie. And then before we go, here's one more look at the Kagome figure up close. And then we'll get this arrow to rest in her hand. And it'll be awesome for display. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always, and I'll see you next time.